Hi, my name is Lindy Jung. I am a science fiction and fantasy writer, and I'm currently documenting my journey trying to become traditionally published and do all of those writerly things, so if you're interested in that, feel free to subscribe. So, as of a few weeks ago, I officially have a literary agent again, and this is going to be my first vlog with an agent in a really long time. I did take a bit of a breather just from making videos in general, but I missed it, so we're back. I'm always gonna miss it. And I wanted to take this moment to talk a little bit about what comes next after you sign with a literary agent, and also to catch you guys up, although I did talk about this a little bit in my I got an agent sort of querying vlog video, which you can check out right here. An agent is basically the first step toward traditional publishing. Once you have a finished manuscript and it's fairly polished, you go ahead, query literary agents, and try to get one to sign you. And the function of a literary agent is actually to shop your book to various editors and try to sell it and get it published. Signing with a literary agent does take time, and I do think a lot of people tend to kind of get tunnel vision and get a little bit stuck in that process of just finding an agent. But there's also a lot of work that happens after you land an agent, and most of that is probably going to be revision work. I got a beautiful edit letter the day that I signed the contract with Laura, my new agent. From what I can remember, and my memory might be failing me here, this is the first time I've worked off of an edit letter with an agent, and I'm not super accustomed to working off of edit letters as opposed to inline comments in the document, but I actually really like it. It breaks down all the major points I want to hit, and it gives me a little bit more wiggle room to sort of make my own assessment and use my best judgment to make the edits that serve the things pointed out in that edit letter. I am not going to sit here and read my entire edit letter to you. I'm just going to break down the main points, and this is all going to be edits that I'll be making on Project MOTHS, which is sort of like the fake placeholder title for my dark academia adult fantasy, which you can see me writing and revising on my own right here in this series. So the major points for this revision are pretty much going to be as follows. Number one, I really want to solidify the role and function and sort of positionality of the governing bodies of this world. Governing bodies is a bit of a stretch, but in this world with alchemists, there are people who have more power than others, and there are different groups with different motivations, and I kind of just want to like play with that, make everything a little clearer, more concise, and to eventually bring those elements into the story in a more satisfying way. Number two, some magical elements in general just need a little bit more logic or tinkering. And number three, I need to include a greater dose of how the school, which is called Meurdrac, works, how it functions in the society, and just some other logistical things that I hadn't really considered. So most of the notes in the edit letter, like my areas of concentration from that letter, were world building based, but there are actually some edits that I had been thinking about while the book was out being read and being queried that I personally really want to make. The main thing is expanding the climactic scene, so the pinnacle of the book where everything comes to a head. I just think that it goes a little bit fast. I wrote it kind of fast, so I think it does read a little bit rushed, and I want to just expand on that scene, give it a little bit more room to breathe, and make it all that more satisfying. Number two is just kind of seeding little clues for some of the reveals. There are a couple of twists in this book, or yeah, like a couple of twists in this book. I just could do a better job of kind of retroactively putting in hints and clues and little tidbits earlier on in the story to make it more satisfying when those ultimately come to a head. And then while I'm in there, I just want to do some line cleanup, especially in the back half of the book. I don't know if this happens to anyone else, but I ended up developing this like beautiful voice and tone in the first half of the book. Like the writing style is very nice in my opinion, and it's really polished line level stuff, and there's some beautiful metaphors, turns of phrase that I'm really proud of personally. And then we get to the back half, and I was starting to just kind of scramble to bring the story elements and the character arcs and all of that together. I was focusing much more on the developmental, and so some of the writing, not so impressive. Honestly, this is not a big revision. The first time I signed with an agent back in 2018, it was with a 45,000 word young adult contemporary fantasy. Generally speaking, you want those kinds of books to be like at least 80,000, 90,000, and we ended up bringing that word count up to 80,000. So it was basically a complete rewrite that included doubling the word count of the book, essentially. Comparatively, this is very, very tame. But I do think that these finicky developmental edits can be tricky because it's sort of like your book or story is a tapestry. When I pull on one of those little threads, I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen to the rest of the tapestry. I just used two pronunciations of that word. Let's ignore it. Let's move past it. So I want to be really careful and precise with where I'm making my edits and making sure that I am able to follow the path of each thread and make sure that I'm editing the consequences of those changes changes accordingly. But overall, I feel really optimistic. I feel good about this. It is currently Friday, August 2nd, and it's about 5 p.m. So I'm going to pop out here in a little bit and try to find some place to work that is not my windowless bedroom that I am getting sick of. Probably not too far from home, but I just want to get some fresh air. I've been cooped up inside for a big part of the day today. My edits are due by the end of the month. That's sort of like a soft deadline, but I do really want to hit that because, you know, it's our first deadline together and I just want to get it done. I'm currently doing a backwards edit of the entire book. I just finished the epilogue. I'm going into chapter 30, which is the last full chapter. I'm going to take you guys out and we're going to see what we can get done today. All right, bye. Guess I did not have writing productivity today, although I did have some homework productivity. I'm trying to get a jump on everything because I am going to Chicago this weekend, so it's gonna be like a weekend trip kind of deal. I am bringing my laptop. I can like try to escape in the morning and get some work done, but really you're just gonna see some trip stuff. I mentioned that I was doing a backwards read-through / revision. That basically just means I'm going through my chapters in reverse order, and the reason that I'm doing that is that historically, if I do revisions kind of chronologically, like I go from chapter 1 all the way to the end, don't skip around, don't jump around, I end up getting really, really polished first acts and first act and a half kind of section. Like the first half of the book will be super polished, clean prose, everything's where it should be, and then the back half kind of starts to get mushier. So to kind of circumvent that, I'm going backwards, also because most of the edits are in the back half of the book anyway, and that is the update. Bye. Hi, this is VoiceOver Lynn, just here to talk a little bit about the weekend trip that I took to Chicago very randomly. So we took the bus, which do not recommend because my partner actually ended up catching COVID, but we stayed at a hotel like right kind of in the main area and did a lot of fun things. A couple of friends live out there, so we went to this like shuffleboard bar that was really fun, and we ate a ton of good food. I did not write at all, though. Like, this was not a good writing weekend, but I figured I'd include it in the vlog anyway because this is the reason I didn't write this weekend. Anyway, good morning. It is, what day is it? Wednesday, August 7th. It's around 11. I had a very late start to the day and I just took a shower, so my hair looks kind of crazy, but yeah, what has been going on in the past little while? I've been so overloaded with my current class that my brain is completely out the window. All of my brain cells are going toward that class, and also I am moving out again at the end of this week. So things have been crazy. I'm currently working on the last solid chapter of mods. Like, I'm doing my backwards revision. I'm on chapter 30. It's just like, it should be such a simple fix, but because I'm doing this thing, which I mentioned, I'm changing the person and the situation, kind of the context in which this conversation is happening with Lark, the main character. And it's kind of like a wrapping up of loose ends kind of conversation, just like very little things. Because I changed who that character was. Originally, it was a character who, I don't know why I did this, did not really appear in person until that moment and is kind of a neutral figure. Now it's someone she has had more of a connection to, although it is still a very like distant, higher up kind of authority figure. Now that voice is gonna be very different. The voice and tone of the conversation is quite different, and there's like different subtext, and just tinkering with those little unseen things is taking a lot longer than expected. I don't know, it is kind of frustrating that I haven't been finding the ability to balance all these things. My priorities have definitely shifted a little because now I actually have a social life for the first time in forever, so I've been hanging out with folks. And I've also been trying to do homework in between that. But I think today is going to be a good day. It's my first full day off. Like, it's a day without classes. I do have some other stuff happening in the afternoon for my just organization kind of thing. But I just feel like it's so important that I use today well. And that's my plan. I'm going to get some of the preliminary stuff done, like have my little breakfast, self-medicate with coffee, and then we're just gonna go, like actually go out. I always say that I'm going to go out and then I sort of get locked into getting work done in my room, but I think I need to get out of this apartment and work somewhere else. So we're gonna do that. My goal is to at least wrap up Act 5 revisions, which honestly, now that I'm saying that, that's gonna be difficult because that is probably the most clumsy act, or act 4 is the most clumsy, messy act in my opinion, that needs the most shaping. But I did spend a lot of time shaping in the revision pass I did right before I sent the book out, and now I feel like act 5, where everything's kind of tying up, is kind of weird. Yeah, we're just gonna keep doing those finicky little tapestry thread edits. Bye. Good morning. It is Sunday, August 11th. What has this week been like? If I could sum it up in 3 words, this weekend has been hectic, stressful, and unproductive. You know when there's just so much stuff happening that you can't get into that creative headspace? That's kind of where I'm at right now, but I am going to force myself into the creative headspace because honestly, is revising work even that creative? Yes and no. I think I can do it serviceably and do it to the degree that I want it without having to think too hard. For a rundown of what's been happening, I just moved out on Friday. That was hectic. Like literally the day before that, someone in this house, COVID. I'm doing my best to avoid that just because I'm flying home on Monday, not this Monday, but Monday the 19th. That, and also I don't want to get sick. I've never gotten it in this entire time period, as far as I know. I am sniffly right now because of the cats, so that's another added layer of every time I sneeze or sniff or cough, I wonder if it's COVID. So that's kind of where my head has been at. It's getting to the point where I'm like, I wonder if I should end this vlog when I'm done with the entire revision, so on August 26th, and just give you guys like more sporadic updates as I get there. Because so far this vlog has been a whole lot of nothing, and every time I vlog, for some reason, my storycraft infected brain is like, this needs to have a beginning and an end, which obviously is not the case, but I just don't like feeling like I've made a vlog in which I didn't at least accomplish something or conclude some goal. Obviously I've had to do vlogs like that before, so this might be a vlog that goes for a month. Otherwise, that's what's going on today, working on finishing up chapter 30. Yes, I'm still on chapter 30. I'm very close to the end. My backwards revision method is working because now chapter 30 and the epilogue are really, really polished. I actually feel kind of good about the direction they're going in. And then we're gonna move on to chapter 29, hopefully by lunchtime. I don't think chapter 30 will take too much, especially now that I'm committed to locking in. No solitaire, no Instagram doom scrolling, no YouTube, none of that. We're just gonna be full focus because I can do it. I can do it. So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on, and I will update you guys in a little bit. Bye. Okay, starting off strong on August 14th. It's a Wednesday. My hair looks amazing. I've spent the past couple of days like not really knowing what I was doing. I've been feeling very lost, just in terms of this revision becoming more complicated than I was hoping it would be because of those threads that are pulling apart. And because of that, I just feel like I've been moving so slowly, and obviously now I have 12 days to get this done. I'm still somewhere in Act 5, and that's the weird thing about it, is that like Acts 1 through 3 are probably just not gonna get revised all that much, not in the way that Acts 5 and 4 are right now. But looking at Act 5, I've just realized that the climax, the way that the story concludes, is not fully satisfying to me, and it's one of those things where I'm like, am I just in my own head, self-data clock, or is this something that genuinely needs to be addressed? I think I just need to take a step back from my backwards revising method and kind of start from the beginning and go back down. One thing that I have been meaning to do and that I want to do is to just do a full read through, like one where I'm not really rearranging any scenes. Maybe I'll like fix typos, line edit here and there, but I want to read the book from beginning to end. I just spoke with Chris and Gail yesterday. Chris is reading not an unedited, but the draft of Moths that I got an agent with, and so I'm really curious to see what she has to say. She keeps being like, oh, the first half is strong, and I'm like, yes, but wait until that second half hits. Before I dive into today, which schedule for today, basically in about 30 minutes here, I'm gonna drive to the city for my job and then come back, and that'll take like 3 hours. But then I'm going to have dedicated writing time because I finished my last sort of school assignment last night, so I'm done with school for the summer. My brain now has room for other things because my job, it's not that it doesn't require brain power, but it's definitely not at the level where I have to think about science philosophy all the time, which is basically what this most recent class I took was. But I'm getting off track. So I just got a little package in the mail yesterday, and it is once again from Merit Beauty, which is my favorite cosmetics company. I am so serious, and not just because they send me stuff. These are 2 gifted products from their new line, which is I get these mixed up, but the Brow 1980 and the Brow 1990. The Brow 1980 is a brow gel. It's on a little spoolie. I got it in dark brown and I'm wearing it right now. This is the perfect color. I was nervous I requested the wrong color because technically I have black hair, but I used to walk around and wear black brow gel and my eyebrows looked like cardboard cutouts. I love that I can put on several layers of this to shape my brows and get those hairs into place, but have it not look like I'm wearing Sharpie on my eyebrows. They look nice, they look like my brows. And then we have the Brow 1990, which has to be the thinnest freaking eyebrow pencil I've ever seen. I used it just a little bit to sort of fill in the weird parts of your eyebrows that are randomly bald, if you know what I mean. So in combination, these two make up the perfect brow set. Merit, if you don't know, is a minimalist beauty brand. Your first purchase with Merit comes with a free signature bag if you're interested in checking out Merit. I do have an affiliate link in the description box below. And yeah, okay. So writing stuff, I don't know. I don't want to get too rambly. This vlog is already so unfocused. It doesn't have a story. It's not going to have a satisfying conclusion and probably just going to be like, well, I'm tired of vlogging now and it's already 45 minutes long, so I better stop. I'm just feeling that frustration with revision where I can see that something is amiss, but I can't 100% identify how to fix it because I think it is more sort of macro subtextual issues where you can't just tweak a couple lines and be done with it. But I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole yet. I'm just going to go through after my work today, if I have the energy, probably just gonna try to like read from the top of Act 4 and go from there. The other thing I've noticed, this is like evidence for me that I have a bad memory to the point where it's not a normal bad memory. I can't remember which version of the book I'm working with. Like, I'll remember plot details that I took out several drafts ago and revised according to that, only to realize that detail did not happen. So yeah, those are my woes as of right now. Revising for an agent, or like your first revision with your agent, is stressful, and I do feel like I need to put forward the impression that I know how to revise my own work and I can take feedback and instruction and actually accomplish something with that. But it's like not high stakes yet, right? Like it's not the end of the world if maybe I need to do like another little tweak afterwards because there's something I missed. We're still gonna push for that August 26th deadline. We're gonna keep going, and I will also update you guys in a little bit. Bye. Okay, it's so warm, just atrociously humid and muggy even at night. I have the colored light on, which is what I do when my lighting is bad, and that's what the situation is right now. But hello, it's currently Friday, August 16th, and I'm updating now because this is like the first day I've had since embarking on this revision, really, where it actually was like, wow, that was a productive day. I mean, I've had kind of productive moments, but not like a full productive day in a while. I did actually start from the beginning, went from chapter 1, I'm now in like chapter 5. So almost done with the first act and just like made my tweaks. I made my little tweaks. I took out some passages and I clarified some world building stuff. There were actual continuity errors in some sentences that I hadn't picked up on. Like there's one sentence I caught where I had changed a conversation to be with a different character than who it was with originally, but then like one dialogue tag was still the old character that conversation was with. Oh, there's a cat in here. I mean, I didn't just work straight through the whole day, but I am over 50 pages into this revision. I have 10 days to complete it. So if I do like approximately that much revision, maybe a little bit more today, it's still like 8 o'clock, so I still have time. Add a couple more pages onto that to front load the revision process a little bit, and I just try to keep up that pace. I should be very, very comfortably finished before my deadline. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm hoping I can keep this up. I feel good. This is also the first time in a while where I read my work back and I was like, I don't hate this at all. I would say honestly, up until this point, like prior to signing with an agent, during the querying process, during that whole thing, I have been so riddled with self-doubt, and then that self-doubt kind of turned into imposter syndrome. I've experienced this before, and really the only thing you can do is to, one, be like, okay, this is imposter syndrome and I recognize that, but also two, use it to kind of like fuel yourself. And the only issue with that is that if it gets to be too much, too immense, that imposter syndrome can turn into not being able to actually do what you're supposed to be doing in terms of writing, because you feel like nothing you do will be good enough. And I feel like I'm starting to let go of that a little bit. Like, I'm able to acknowledge the good parts of this book, at the same time recognizing that it is not perfect. And also something that I've weirdly had to come to terms with lately is like, if this book publishes and hits shelves, people will read it who won't like it, who won't understand what I'm going for, who won't like the characters, the world, or some little thing. And that is totally fine, because there's books that are highly lauded that a bunch of people seem to like that I didn't like. Coming around from that sort of mindset of everything I don't like is bad to the mindset of art is subjective and people can like and dislike different things, and that's not even necessarily a reflection of quality beyond like this baseline quality that we expect from books, which the thing that I will give myself credit for is I hit that very baseline quality level in that I have very clean writing. So that is something I know I can do, and I think that I can string a story together. That was a tangent. I can just write the best book that I can right now, and that's kind of just what we're going for with revisions. That is the update. 50 pages into that revision. Oh, the book is around 380 pages. It's a little bit under 400, so if I did like 50 pages a day, theoretically, that would take me 8-ish days. Gonna try to do it in less. Gonna try really hard to do it in way less, but that's it. Okay, bye. This is kind of a weird experiment, so bear with me. I'm literally filming in photo booth. It's August 18th. It's Sunday. I'm actually just about to hop into a stream, my like 5 o'clock stream, which is unfortunately the only one I've been able to do this month. But I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on where I'm at. I'm actually on page 123, and this is out of 352 pages. So almost kind of coming up on that halfway mark. I think this is a little bit past 35%. Still feeling pretty good about it. This is Act 3. I kind of hadn't realized how brief Act 2 is. It really just has like one major event where a bunch of different scenes happen, and it kind of encompasses a couple chapters. I also hit a point where I just like, it clicked. I realized exactly what section of the dialogue in Act 1 needed to be adjusted to set up for a certain world building thing that becomes very relevant later in the story and is in accordance with my agent's notes. So I finally feel like I've edited something in accordance with her notes. I'm hoping in the stream to hit like page 150, so add maybe 27 pages of edited pages to this. That didn't make any sense, but add 27 pages to my current count and get to a nice comfortable space, because tomorrow I am flying to California, and that's going to be a whole thing. I always strive to get stuff done when I travel, and sometimes I do, and sometimes I really, really don't. So yeah, that's what's going to be happening, and I'm going to jump into my stream because I don't want to run late again. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Good morning. It's currently Friday, August 23rd. So much has happened. It is day 4 for me in California. I just have like a couple more days left, basically just this weekend. I am going up to the Bay Area with some friends on a little road trip and hangout session. It's kind of crazy. It's all of my friends from like my, California, all of my California friend group, which hasn't happened in kind of a while. And in terms of edits, so I am so close and yet so far. Because I got to Act 4 and I was just like, oh, this is a mess. I think I need to restructure some parts. The logic just isn't logicking, like the flow of events. You can kind of tell that I was writing some things out of order because I'm like, why would this happen next? What is the reason? And I can't come up with a justifiable reason for it happening next, so I might just change it. But obviously that's gonna take time, and I have no time this weekend. I'm really frustrated. I've been in my feelings all week. I've had like a lot of anxiety and stuff because my family dog got really sick, really last minute, and it's not very good. It's not looking good, so I've kind of had to deal with that. And I haven't been sleeping very well. Yeah, I've just not been in the best headspace. Like last night, I probably got 3 hours of sleep. So what's happening today is I'm going to put on my big girl pants and ask my agent for an extension, which is fine because like the August 26th deadline was like a soft deadline anyway. I'm just frustrated that I can't meet it, but honestly kind of extenuating circumstances in that a lot of stuff has been happening beyond just coming here and being in California and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead
and send that email, finish packing because I'm about to get picked up. I'm going to ask for a week. Like, I cannot express how close I was to being done, but I just can't do it right now. And I think if I try to do it, I will drive myself insane. So for the sake of myself, I'm just gonna ask for the extension and it shouldn't be a big deal. But yeah, bye. We're just stuck because of this. How's everyone feeling? We've been here for how long? Because of Big Rig flipped over and caught fire. And yeah, we're doing good.
We are literally like less than an hour from home. But we've been in this car for over an hour, but we were not driving for an hour.
Emergency trucks keep coming this way.
I hope that guy does not get hit.
Yeah, there's people like standing there.
People are out, people are talking to each other, pulling out their stuff.
Standing.
We keep moving forward like 1 inch, probably every like 10 minutes. But it's like, we're stopped, we're parked, and then someone ahead of us will move 1 inch, and then everybody
gets excited, so they all turn their cars on.
1 inch. just out on the highway. Finally fucking moving. Oh my god. Okay, that was like 2 hours.
Yeah, baby! He's rubbing himself on the box.
He loves to do that, and I think maybe...
Is it his smells?
I don't know. I guess so, but like, he just never gets tired of doing it.
Hello. You are so cute. That's my watch. Oh, he's discovering my watch.
Yeah.
Just rushes over, it's like, yes.
A double motto.
No. Okay, we're doing our hot wings challenge. Wing sauce, hot sauce.
Come on, Danny.
Okay, I'm gonna show the sauce.
Ready?
Ghost pepper.
Start.
It hasn't hit me yet.
Me either.
It's starting.
You're right.
Done.
Oh god.
Oh, you can't have any relief.
Oh no.
Oh my god, where's Sam now?
Lynn entered a meditative state.
I'm done.
Cut the camera.
No,
She went,
I put so much on there. I could eat more of it, but I would be like,
Can you wash this for me?
yeah.
I need to focus on making it through.
This is the first one I had.
Does plank count as relief?
no. Does what?
Sauce master down.
You want me to sit on your back? No.
Remember to face Mecca.
Oh my god, the flash.
The wizard may or may not appear to be making sounds.
Thursday, August 29th. My new due date is September 2nd, which I realized a little bit too late is Labor Day, but I'm just gonna like send it and have it be out of my way by then. I've been kind of stuck. I've been hovering around the 250 page mark. And of course, after I finish like my page by page revision, I have to go back and make sure that I'm like making the world building edits that, you know, just making sure that those elements that my agent really wanted come through very clearly, because I am implementing those, but I'm also juggling a lot of other edits that I personally wanted to do. I've been stuck at a chapter 21, page 250, but last night I had a brain blast, so I know what I'm going to do now to make that better. I don't know how to describe it without giving a ton away, but basically it's like a big reveal chapter. It just felt so out of touch with what is happening with the main character emotionally, and it felt like a jarring transition between the previous chapter, end of chapter 20, where she's kind of at her lowest of the low point. But I'm going to try writing it the way that I came up with last night, and hopefully that'll work. My bangs are very weird right now. In terms of productivity in general, it hasn't been amazing lately. I think just the beginning of this week, coming back from California on Monday, all the stress of being in California and the busyness of it, it just like wasn't the best few days for revisions. But I am getting back in the saddle. I have the next couple days off basically until Tuesday, which is when my fall semester for school starts. So we're really gonna focus over the next couple days. General timeline, I think I can spend, it's around 11 o'clock right now, I think I can spend a solid couple hours
just powering through the rest of this. If you recall, it's been a very non-linear revision process, so I had started at the end, so a lot of the end is pretty edited. The problems I've been running into have all been Act 4. Act 4 has been the slowest one to revise by far, but I think I'm on a good track and I kind of understand the trajectory a bit better. I'm now asking myself, do I think this is ready to go on submission? There's a lot of factors that go into deciding if a book is ready for submission. There's like the timing of submission windows, because some times of year are busier than others for editors. There's also the window of opportunity for specific subgenres or trends or tropes or whatever, which Moths is dark academia. I have a sense that that window is something that I want to take advantage of as quickly as possible before the genre gets super oversaturated. But that's not really my job. I just want to make this book as strong as I can. And I think it's still not perfect, but perfection is of course like that false ideal. My standards tend to be a lot higher for myself, especially in my own work. I just tend to push myself a lot, and I know that if I don't just let it go at a certain point, then I'm gonna be stuck revising forever and ever in a Groundhog Day-esque loop. So yeah, we're gonna just go right into chapter 21, making it the way that I thought of last night and seeing if that works. Honestly, every time I get to this part of the book, I kind of forget what happens in it because I have the memory of a freaking goldfish. So let's see what happens in Act 4. Bye for now.
Hi. It's currently Sunday, September 1st, which means I officially have one more day to finish this revision. It's 10:36 in the morning, so a late start to the day, but not bad for a Sunday. And I figured I'd give you guys a little update on where I'm at with all that. So with this revision, I have exactly 44 pages left, probably a little bit less. I breached Act 5 last night, so I'm getting to the part where I had edited those sections at the start of this vlog, which by the way, this vlog has now officially lasted over a month. All in all, I'm feeling okay about it. I think this is going to be like the introspective part before I do my revisions and finish it up and then finish this vlog for good. I am losing a lot of confidence in myself at this stage just because when you're revising, you are hunting for flaws. So pretty much all you can see are the flaws of your book. And I kind of screwed myself because I actually got this from the library a couple weeks ago. It's called The Jinn Waits 100 Years. A beautiful book, beautiful writing, just actually heart-wrenching, made me tear up. Like a finished book that I got off the shelf and read that and started comparing myself with my very different kind of book, by the way. They're completely different genres and have different aims. And it was very difficult to not see the flaws in my own work. I'm just feeling like all of this weird preemptive anxiety about, is this book even ready to face editors? Am I going to get through that gauntlet again? Or is this book going to die like the other two that have died on submission with my previous stints in being agented? And I'm just trying to like logically tell myself that I can't think like that and I just have to make this book as good as it can be. But I just am at the stage again where I don't like it. Like, I just am not loving the story. I keep finding new and unpleasant surprises. Yeah, I've just been having a weirdly hard time with it. So that's kind of been putting a dampener on things. Like, I'm not excited to sit down and work on it every day. And I'm also not excited to draft my other book, Project Crypts. Although I did have an idea for the world last night that kind of made me a little bit excited to tackle it again, which is weird because I feel like every time I finish drafting a book previously, I've gone into the next project being like, okay, how am I going to make this one even better, or like better in different ways? How am I going to take what I've learned with that previous project and move forward? And I feel like what I've learned with Moths is that I am not nearly the level of writer that I want to be, and it's just kind of a depressing time. So this is kind of a downer moment, but I'm going to finish this revision. I'm going to finish this draft. I guess technically it's like draft 3 of this version of the book, of the story and these characters, because previous versions were so different that I honestly feel like they don't count. And then I'm just gonna send this to my agent and kind of just be done with it for the time being, and see what she says and kind of go from there. I don't mind doing another revision. I just think I need to like finish this round and be done for a little bit and work on something else and read a lot and refill my cup. But in other words, other news, I've had like a really fun August. I feel like the tail end of the summer was really exciting for me. I got to do so much stuff, so obviously you've seen that in the vlog previous. I'm currently drinking a vanilla dirty chai. I've got my setup, got nothing booked for today other than like one errand that I might offset onto someone else. We're gonna just sit down and get this revision done, and it's gonna be done, and I am trying not to care about whether or not it's making the book perfect or whatever. I think the mindset that I want to take with revisions is that each one brings the book closer to like its final form, which is true for publishing in general. So each one adds like a certain percentage of good. So I think this revision has added like at least 10% good. I'm at like 70% good, which is like a C-, but it's still passing. But that's where I'm at. 44 pages of revision, 40-ish pages, and I'll update you guys when I'm done. Bye.
You're so pretty.
Draft 6. Today I've actually spent the entire day just like doing admin and then also just powering through Moths. I'm sure you guys know Lynn. Like, it's by no means a short book, average adult fantasy length.
Hi, it's Monday, September 2nd. It's 11 a.m. and I just submitted my revision. So we're gonna wrap up the video. How am I feeling about that? Well, basically to like conclude, I think I had like 9 pages left when I started revising this morning, and then I kind of just like went back and tweaked some things. Overall, I ended up, I think my biggest changes were in Act 4, I rewrote a couple of scenes or like restructured them basically, and also in Act 5 I did sort of the same thing. I think the back half of the book is still recognizable, but it does look pretty different in some of those important beats. I also dramatized the climax a little bit more, like drew it out so that it felt more like a climax. One of my issues in general with drafting is that if I get really impatient, I go to my zero drafting sort of messy drafting technique, which is to tell rather than show quite a bit. You know, you want a good balance of show and tell in general, but too much telling, especially in these like important big moments, is not ideal. I would say overall I feel like this was maybe a 7 out of a 10. Like I feel like it was very much a passing grade, and I'm fine turning in these revisions, but I'm just like, oh, I don't think I did anything impressive. I think it was a very serviceable kind of edit, and it cleaned up a lot of the things that I was dissatisfied with, but I also know there's a lot more I could do. And so I guess my curiosity is like, will my agent and also will I myself think that this is enough of a revision to carry this book successfully through submission? And of course there's not really that much you can control in regards to that, because submission and connecting successfully with an editor kind of might have to do more with their gut feelings and how they feel about the project as a whole, rather than these like finicky editing things, because you do edit more after you sign a book contract. But I'm trying not to think that far ahead. I'm trying to just be like, okay, we're just polishing this up for now. I've sent it off, so my hands are clean of this, and we are officially done with this vlog. Thank you so much for following me for a month of revisions. Sorry that if it got a little bit frustrating at points. It was frustrating for me too, but I got there in the end, and that week extension was really a lifesaver. So I guess my moral is to not be afraid to ask for an extension, especially if other stuff is going on that kind of makes focusing on writing difficult. We're all people, and we need to kind of like acknowledge that, because when I'm not at my best as a person, my work isn't going to be at its best either. Yeah, thank you again. If you liked this video, if you made it all the way to the end of this very, very long vlog, then please... That was the cat. Okay, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I make tons of videos about writing. I'm going to document basically my journey toward traditional publishing, or my journey throughout traditional publishing, with vlogs, and I also make craft videos once in a while. So if you're a writer, if you think you would have a nice time following that, or if you think that'll benefit you in any way, then I appreciate you subscribing. Thank you for the 3rd time, and I will see you guys next time.